Malcolm stood barefooted on the dewy grass gazing towards the sky. His eyeballs rotated uniformly with precision. It almost appeared as if he was a painter and the sky was the world's largest canvas. Thoughts lingered across his mind, but deep down he knew the only way to conquer the demons was to introduce them to heaven. Malcolm quickly ran down the hilly mountains, found his way through the dreaded corn farms, oblivious of the peril he faced from the wild jackals who dwelled in the old coal mines of Kentucky. He arrived at his father's cottage in the wee hours of the night, and found his father, who was a village pauper, fast asleep, swinging back and forth on his rocking chair holding a bottle of rum. He quickly grabbed his old man, who was as heavy as lead, and dragged him inside the cottage. He hated to see his old man wasted and drowned in alcohol, and he always vowed to fish him out, but whenever he tried he failed miserably. Perhaps his father was now a big fish who learned to swim with the sharks and reached a point of no return, or he never rose to the occasion when the opportunity presented itself. The predicaments he faced denied him serenity. The only thing that kept him going was love. He had a crush on a young, beautiful Caucasian broad with big blue eyes. Very early in the morning Malcolm jerked awake and stumbled towards the door in his sparsely arranged room. He quickly lit the stove, which spewed smoke, and made the room to appear foggy. Just as he was placing the kennel on the stove, his father appeared behind the smoke, something like a scene from a horror movie. "Today I'll let him have it. He is going to hear every word," he said to himself. His father walked in, staggering and stumbling across the room, knocking down everything in his path. One could tell that he was feeling the full pinch of the hangover. "Malcolm, bring me my tea before I hit you, rascal," he ordered. The sheer force of his voice caused my massive bosom to quiver like a gigantic jelly. Malcolm quickly dashed to grab the kettle like a shark that's on a dolphin. His heart was beating so fast the eyes turned brick red. He couldn't take it any longer. After serving tea to his father, that's when hell broke loose. "Father, how many occasions have I told you to stop drinking alcohol? It's detrimental to your health," Malcolm fumed. "Who gave you the right to lecture me on what I should and what I shouldn't do? Your mother must be turning in his grave," Benjamin retorted. "If ice could kill, then Malcolm would be long gone." His father stared at him with rage. He quickly disappeared and stormed out of the cottage like a bat out of hell. He wasted another chance to convince his father to forfeit alcohol. The young lad failed yet again. It was approaching noon and Malcolm couldn't help but daydream about Katie, his longtime crush. He could find himself smiling for no reason. He couldn't wait to see the majestic face of his beloved. So he went to his friend Tommy to borrow a horse. When Malcolm arrived, he found Tommy cleaning the stall. The ranch was in a frenzy. The birds and the horses whinnied and screamed at each other. The oxen were nibbling at the cage. "Hey Tommy," shouted Malcolm. "What's up, Malcolm? Please don't tell me you want the horse again," Tommy said jokingly. "I sure do. It's been since I saw my beloved Katie," Malcolm replied sheepishly. The thought of seeing Katie again sent an adrenaline rush through Malcolm's body. Butterflies filled his stomach, and his eyes glowed and beamed like a werewolf. Sure enough, Tommy went and opened the stables. With a cacophony of clanging and banging of chains, bellowing of the horses, he managed to make his way through the aisle and picked a black stallion, a preferred candidate for Malcolm's maiden voyage. "Here is a black stallion for the dark night. Go and rescue your princess, but make sure you get back on time," Tommy said. "Sure thing, I'll be back on time," Malcolm assured. The young lad quickly mounted the horse and started making his way to Sunshine, a small town found in the south of Kentucky. The horse galloped with tremendous pace, causing the dust to swell high up to the heavens, and gusted tremendously, as if a typhoon was sweeping across the dry land. After traveling for about half an hour, Malcolm caught a glance of brick houses, and he knew he was minutes away from seeing his beloved. The red striking wall of the settlement could be seen like a haze against the unfertile landscape. Malcolm made his way through the busy town, which was buzzing with activity. He got off his horse and tied him on a pole at the city square, and afterwards he made his way to the villa, a park where Katie used to hang. When he arrived, Malcolm saw a petite girl with a blue dress reading a novel on the stands of the villa. It was Katie. "Hey Katie," Malcolm muttered, as he stared down on Katie with his eyes locked on her. Katie's breath hitched, her doe eyes widened under his longing stare, her porcelain hand trembled as they became clenched, and after a minute of silence she replied softly. "Hey too, Malcolm," she replied. It was now or never for Malcolm. The girl of his dreams was standing right in front of him. After days and night of dreaming and thinking about what to tell her, the opportunity represented itself on a silver platter. Inching closer to her quivering frame, his strong arm grabbed her and circled the scared knuckles of her tiny fist, and after a long time of waiting, Malcolm expressed her dying love to Katie. "Katie, I like you so much and I'd love it if we became more than friends. Your beauty enchants me, and I want to be with you forever," Malcolm said. "Please Malcolm, I am not ready, and I can only consider you as a friend, nothing more," Katie said. Malcolm's heart shattered into 1,000 pieces. Tears cascaded his rosy cheeks. Filled with disappointed, Malcolm ran to the square, mounted the black horse, and rode towards the sunset, never to be seen again.